kind of changed for you guys from middle approach when we're looking at the third quarter offensively?
The turnovers in the second half were what allowed them to get back in the game. Not only were they scoring some off of our turnovers, but it obviously took away, a possession where we could have scored. I think we had like 5 turnovers or something like that in the half, or in the first half, and something like 7 in the third quarter alone. And then, it's when you're scoring, like I think we had 63 in the first half. When you're scoring and they're coming back against your set defense, it's a little easier than when you're taking shots at the end of a shot clock, or you're turning them all over, and then they're coming and they're not playing against your set defense. You're kind of scrambling to match up in transition.
You wanted the ball at the end. You scored the basket. It seemed like if you won the ball, you knew we were going to make it. Kind of stepped up big for your team. You seem like
Yeah, I mean, when they're fouling at the end of the game, we've talked about it both as a team and individually with certain guys, but Ben usually takes it out, and so I'm in his ear. Just find me if I'm not open and you don't have anything. We have a timeout. Just kind of going over that stuff, whether it's in a huddle or on a free throw, like just kind of reminding him of that stuff. He did a great job at the end of the game tonight, and got the ball to the right people on those inbound plays. And the funny thing is like I feel like I can also waste some clock because teams don't want to foul me. The first time they decided to foul, I think we wasted like 15 seconds with me just like kind of dribbling because they weren't sure whether or not to foul, and they ended up fouling JB.
What you say at the end of the it's like 17 seconds. We talked to him. It's like he was a little frustrated.
Oh, no, he wasn't frustrated. No, we were talking about literally if they scored, like get me the ball right away, and if I'm not open, we still have a timeout. That was the conversation.
JJ, when they made the run at you guys able to respond late in the game as they called them off. Talk about getting the game like this where they kind of make the run, and you guys able to withstand it?
We've got to be better in the second half of games. This is something that we did earlier in the season. I think in 3 of our first 4 losses or 4 of our first 5 losses, we had a lead at halftime and didn't have a good second half. We've got to figure out a way to be better in the third quarter and to finish the third quarter well. I mean, if you look at the Washington game too, we didn't finish the third well. That gave them some momentum, and they were able to get back into it in the fourth quarter.
Why do you think you've had difficulty in the third quarter? What can you attribute that to?
I don't know. We've got to figure that out. But at times we've been good. We were down to Boston and we got back in the game at the beginning of the third quarter. So it's just got to be more consistent.
Does it help to be able to pull through something like that, and does it give you a little more confidence knowing that they can do that?
Look, we're winning games. We're winning games. I think we're figuring out that you can win differently in this league. You don't have to win the same way every time. And every sort of win like this certainly helps with experience and confidence and all that. But we're a good enough team that we can win in different ways, and tonight we did that.
JJ, it's easy to look at games against like the Wizards, the Cavs, the Celtics and say this is what we can learn from them. But what can you learn from playing against a similarly young team who's also moving up like you guys in the Pistons?
They're ahead of us in the standings. I think they're second or third in the conference. So, this is a team that we've got to beat if we want to make the playoffs and if we want to have, potentially home court advantage in the first round. I don't look at them as a team like us. They're a team that's been in the playoffs. They're a team that, to me, is as good and is playing as well as anybody in the East right now.
You talk about also, you bringing a veteran leadership to this team, also the atmosphere of the crowd.
Again, I think, being a veteran leadership, it's a very broad topic. But again, I'm just trying to be a pro and help where I can. Our crowd is incredible, and it's the best home crowd I've played with in my career, and I had some good ones in Orlando, and sometimes in LA with the Clippers we had good home crowds. But in terms of just consistently bringing it every night, we feed off that. They're tremendous.
JJ, how much does that, being the best home crowd you've played in front of, how much does that factor into the way you guys play?
Well, I think it gives us energy. I talked about this earlier in the season, but there is a symbiotic relationship, I think, when it really works between, the fans sort of feeding off the players' energy and then the players feeding off the fans' energy, and you can create sort of a frenzied atmosphere. When Rob Covington hits back-to-back threes and the fans are going nuts, like that's fun for everyone, and that's when it's beautiful, and that's when you get great atmospheres. Thanks, guys.